One of the most important talents that an entrepreneur can have in their skill set is their ability to take one and create four or five or six. Finding value where there was no value before is a key skill to being a success in business. This is something that our next guest has done again and again and again, which is why I invited Johann to be on our show. A mentor once said to me that every growing business needs to be aware of their three customers. Who are your three customers? Well, first, there is the person or the business that buys your product or service, and you need to be aware of their wants and their needs. Then there is the potential investor who one day might invest in your business or even buy your business so that you can exit. You need to be thinking about their needs and their wants and growing your business to satisfy those people as well too. Then there is the third type of customer. And the third type of customer is one of the most powerful partnerships that you can have as a way to leverage your business. And that is the type of customer that can resell what it is that you do, can join forces with you to introduce what you've got to their world, and vice versa. And of course, I'm talking about marketing alliance partnerships and JVs. It's a big topic. Unfortunately, I have sitting with me somewhat of an expert on this particular topic, Johann Nogueira. He is a SaaS monster. He began running digital agencies. He migrated into the world of SaaS. Speaking of JVs and partnerships, he recently acquired 7 new SaaS companies. He's the founder of Business Authorities, which he only created in 2018, and he has amassed a ginormous tribe. Johann, how are you?
I'm fantastic, man. Thank you so much for having me here.
Well, there's so much stuff that we can talk about your background before we even get into this topic of JVs and partnerships. But I just want to ask you, what is your major focus right now? You've got the SaaS businesses, you've got digital agencies that other people run for you, you've got the Business Authorities piece. Where's the focus right now?
The focus is the SaaS business. That's it. So thanks to Dan Andrews, our Business Authorities sort of has been on hold for a little bit, and will be until we all know that we can run events again without any disruptions. But a lesson that I learned was when you focus on one thing, that's the thing that grows. And
it's so true.
It's just the SaaS for now, and we're going to grow that. Our aim is to grow to 10 million in the next 2 years, and we've already got an exit plan of 100. If we hit all our goals. So we're all good. That's
wow. Now, I also, just before we hit record, you were telling me a funny story about you were living in an apartment in the city. And by the way, for our American and international listeners, Dan Andrews is the state premier of Victoria, which is a state of Australia where Johann and I both live. And you may have heard that we had one of the most restrictive lockdown conditions during the pandemic, which was brutal for live event hosts like Johann with his Business Authorities membership. But tell me about this business that you were telling me about before, where you were living in was it a hotel or a serviced apartment?
It was an apartment building. So basically, I moved into this apartment. When I moved in, they welcomed me and they said, "This is the best building in Melbourne." I said, "Fantastic." And they said, "Technologically, it's the most advanced." I said, "Great. I love tech." And then I moved in and I get a piece of paper under my door. The piece of paper says, "Your windows are getting clean." Okay, that's interesting. At nighttime, I get another one saying the pool is out of order. I said, "Oh, okay." We are talking about 2012 here, by the way. So things were a little bit ancient then. And anyway, this carries on. A month goes by, and I've got an inch of paper sitting on my table next to my door. And I was collecting these because I thought that it'll be good reference material. Anyway, I take this. I go to the building manager. I said, "How much is this costing me?" He said, "It's $1 per sheet."
$1 per sheet. 2 sheets per day.
Correct.
Per apartment.
Per apartment. 500 apartments. $1,000 a day just to let me know that the pool is getting cleaned, right? It's ridiculous. And some poor soul's time walking around the building, putting these under everybody's door. They must have had a back problem by the end of that. Anyway, so I say to the guy, I'm like, man, this is a $365,000 problem. How about we solve it with the mobile app? And he said, oh, okay. That sounds interesting. Show me. So I said, okay, cool. And so I wanted to build a prototype, SaaS. I said, who's got the best technology right now that I can look at? Went to Dubai, looked at their stuff. Their stuff is absolutely incredible. We've all seen the videos of, a desert turn into this mega city. Why? Because they have the best technology, building technology. Come back here, reverse engineered it, built it, showed it to him. He's like, oh my God, we got to show this to the owners corporation. So we showed it to the owners corporation. They're like, wow, we love it. We'll have it. And they got it. While I'm walking out the door, this guy comes chasing me. He's like, dude, how much money did you just make? I said, I did all right. He goes, do you want to partner up? I've got 30 other buildings. I'm like, yeah, all right. So partnerships, right? This is where the JV conversation comes into play. He has spent the last 30 years of his life building a company. And within one conversation, I get access to all of his assets.
Yeah.
So we create a partnership. We launch this thing. And then 2 years later, he goes, hey, I'm retiring. Do you want to buy me out? So I bought him out. And then I'm sitting there going, hey, universe, I'm not going to go walk around to every building selling this technology. Give me something. And I get a phone call. And I get a phone call from these guys going, we've been trying to copy your technology for the last 2 years. We finally found you, tracked you down. What's it going to take to buy you out to partner with you? I said, well, partnership's kind of working out for me. So let's talk about partnering. So sit down at the table. Now, these guys emailed me. I'm sitting down at the table. I did my due diligence. I'm sitting there going, how the hell did I find myself at this table? The last company that these guys built together was a $1.2 billion company. And I'll tell you that story about partnership later on. So going on that, they go, man, your tech is amazing. We want to take it out to to these other companies. I said, all right, sure. And by the way, they more than 200% to my price, like what I was charging. And they're like, you're selling this way too low. Anyway, 4 years later, we built it into a $20 million company. And, that's just the start of that story. So that's how all that got started. And then, yeah, I can keep going, but
it's just amazing. I'm sitting here, I'm gripped, and when we were talking about it before I hit record, I got the bare bones of that, but I knew that it was one of those classic examples of, what do they say? People say luck is preparation meets opportunity.
Yep.
But also in that particular instance, I loved when you said, someone had spent 30 years building a business, and within 30 minutes, you'd been able to leverage that entire lifetime of effort.
Exactly. So now let's go into the next part of the story. So we build this tech. We've launched it. Now, each building, I want, everyone who's listening, each building is essentially a database. So you're looking at these databases. So soon, once we got traction, the banks started coming up to us. Hey, that apartment building next to the water, every apartment's $1.5 million. Like, yeah, we know. They go, can we put a button on the app saying, hey, can you refinance? Can we, click the button to refinance your mortgage? Click the button to apply for a new credit card. I'm like, for the people who are listening who are coders, it's literally a 10-minute job.
Yeah, it's so easy.
Didn't take us long. But now, what are we leveraging? We're leveraging their brand, which creates more credibility. We've got these banks who are on our technology. It's awesome. And then the people who are using it, they look at it, they go, oh, cool, wow, more services that I can do. Nothing's getting shoved down their throats. They're like, yes, let's do this. So they click, and every person who was clicking that button and refinancing their mortgage, we'd get a very decent, I won't give the number, we get a very decent clip of the ticket where we get a referral commission. So now that's the first of many partnerships. The second one was everybody in a building. You see the elevators. Usually there's one elevator that's blocked up because somebody's either moving in or out. So we created a partnership with a company, an aggregator, that's all about moving in and out. So now on our app, we have a button saying move in, move out. So somebody clicks the button, they're disconnecting their services at this address, connecting it at the other address, and now we get paid because they're disconnecting the fees and they've got connection fees. This one, I will tell you, but for everyone that connected and disconnected, we get about $300 to $500.
And so, buildings like that are in constant churn. They're like constantly people moving in and out.
every time I walked into one of the buildings and there was a blocked elevator and somebody's moving in and out, I was like, cha-ching, 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 which is awesome because we were providing a service, right? Same thing, all the real estate, all the mailboxes. We had all the people around the building who'd come in and be putting all these pamphlets in there that people would look at and then throw in the bin. Now, all of that collateral's on the app. So it made life easier. Another little story. I'm sitting down, well, I'd walked into the building and I'm talking to the concierge. Now, I talk to a lot of people, so I knew the restaurant owner who's just walked in, and he gives his concierge a brown paper bag. And I go, what's in the bag, man? He's like, it's $1,000. I'm like, why are you giving him $1,000? He's like, hopefully he'll send out a push notification for me, letting the people know that there's a $99 dinner at my restaurant next week. And they did it for $99. I'm like, well, instead of doing something underhanded, how about you make it official and I'll give you 4 push notifications every year for $1,000. He's like, yeah, which then turned into a directory on the app. So now you have all the service providers on the app. There's electricians, plumbers,
paying for the privilege for being there.
Exactly. And now they're exclusive to that database, which is that building. So that's now they're leveraging your audience and it gets paid on. I remember I was a guy, David Hobson, I think his name was, and he once said to me, the middle class competes, the world class collaborate. And 100%. What he meant is that when you're running your own smaller business, often you think that you need to be doing everything yourself. You need to be doing everything the hard way because the hard way is the best way, because that's what you've always been taught as a child. And also there is that fear that I'm so small, what have I got to offer? When the reality is that there are all sorts of things that businesses of all shapes and sizes have to offer the right partner. 100%. Now, I got another story for you.
Keep going.
Like the way the way networking works, right? Most people go to networking events and what they're trying to do, they're trying to shove their business card down your throat. Take it. Hey, by the way, come get a website from me. I'll give you a discount, that kind of stuff, right? Which is, it's not the way of doing business. I want you to flip it around and let's pretend like Walt Disney is sitting down next to the guy who owns McDonald's. Let's pretend we don't know the owners, and this is a completely made up story. Walt Disney's sitting down next to the founder of McDonald's, and Walt Disney's telling him, "Hey, here, have this. This is a discount coupon to come watch my movie." And the McDonald's guy is like, "Here's a discount coupon. Come have a meal. Come try my Happy Meals, please." That's a really, really bad transaction and interaction. But instead, they thought at a different level. Walt Disney said to our founder here at McDonald's, "Hey, how about every time somebody walks into your thing and buys a Happy Meal, I've got these special toys which you can give them, which they can have, and also they can get a discount in my movie theater." Oh, wow. And then at the movie theater, hey, guess what? You get your popcorn and your Coke, but you also get a voucher to go and claim that toy from the Happy Meal from McDonald's. Now, that's a worldwide joint venture going. So this is a different way to think about things. And by the way, you don't have to have a product in order to be doing joint ventures. You can just be a connector. And when you're ready, I'll share the story, which is the promise of the title of this podcast, is how one of our people made $1 million in 2 weeks doing a joint venture.
Well, let's come back to that. So what I'm going to ask you is, I'm going to bring it back to this. I'm going to discuss a little bit of terminology. So, for example, I introduced it with the idea of there are marketing alliances, there are resellers, there are joint ventures. What are some of the differences or distinctions between those types of situations?
Marketing alliances. So marketing alliances are, hey, I run a digital agency. I build websites. Oh, what's that? You need clients? Cool. Well, my friend over here, he does Facebook ads. He'll get you the clients. So once I'm done building your website, I'll refer you to that guy. Now, if somebody goes to the Facebook guy, he goes, "Man, I cannot advertise your website because it's absolutely not that good. How about you go talk to my friend, get your website upgraded and come to me?" That's marketing alliance. What was the second one that you said?
Resellers.
Resellers. Okay, cool. So all of our phone shops, they're resellers, right? They're reselling Telstra and Optus, essentially, but they add different bonuses. Hey, you go buy this thing and I will give you this extra bonus. That's resellers. And that's even mortgages, they're all the same. right? All the banks, they do the same thing. Hey, buy the thing from us and we'll give you these extra bonuses, extra years, all that kind of stuff.
So from a small business owner perspective, if it's a marketing alliance, it could be, I'll promote you, you promote me. There's a handshake involved. There's a bit of trust, but there's no real formalities or agreements. Well, there can be a written agreement. Sometimes there can be a contract. Sometimes it's just a gentleman's or a gentlewoman's agreement. With the reseller, there's more contracts. It's more binding. There's discussions. And this can go both ways, by the way. So, for example, I can sell something like access to my B2B Dash platform. And then on the success page, I could introduce them to Johann SaaS and I become a reseller of his product. And that can be done in all sorts of different ways. Money is exchanged hands. It's more formal. Then we move up a level, JVs. Tell me about JVs.
So JVs are where you are leveraging somebody else's assets that they've built, and they're allowing you to do that because they don't have the time, the strategy to implement it. So most business owners are so busy doing what they do that they're leaving so much money on the table that they have no comprehension of the money that they're leaving on the table. So James, I'm going to say, if I come to you and I say, James, you built this amazing platform. It is freaking phenomenal. How can I help you? Or what if I did all the work? I'm going to do all the marketing. I'm going to write all the email copy. I'm going to advertise. I'm going to find joint venture partners, and I'm going to get you more clients. And for every client that I get you, I want 50%. Are you happy to do that deal with me?
Yeah, I mean, like it's just it's even so funny the way that you even framed that. Is that we use LinkedIn as the conduit for connecting with potential partners.
Yep.
And it's just so funny because all you need to say is, and maybe I can bring you some new clients, and you will always get a reply.
Yep.
Which is very different to, I don't know, the hypothetical McDonald's, Walt Disney story, which is everybody just trying to sell to each other.
Yep.
It's like, well, let's work together and do something incredible.
Everybody's thinking about what's in it for me. Nobody knows me. Nobody cares about me, which is the greatest thing ever, because you can do whatever you want to do as long as you deliver on your promise. It's, hey, James, this is what I'm going to go and do for you. And in your brain, you go, wow, this guy's going to, I can leverage his database. He's going to put in all these skill sets that I don't have, maybe. And then he's going to go and do all the hard work, and I pay him on found money. Of course, that's a great deal for me. So yes, let's do it. And so when you frame it that way, people go, yeah, sure, man. That's it.
Yeah. The other thing about JVs is, it's an abbreviation for joint ventures. Officially or formally, from a legal perspective, and by the way, I once studied to be a lawyer. Don't tell anyone, shush. But anyway, if you there was for a long time a formal definition around it where you'd create a new entity together and you'd both get 50-50. And that can be part of it, but not always.
No, so that's a very awesome distinction, and one that I love to make sure that people know that where you go down the route of creating the entity and doing all that stuff, that's a partnership. It essentially becomes a partnership.
Yeah, you're in business together.
Correct.
Yeah.
A joint venture is when it's convenient for me and when it's convenient for you. So that's a huge difference between this, because hey, guess what? I've got a couple of launches coming up. It's not important for me right now. It is important, but not right now, because I have to do my own thing. But when it's convenient, definitely I want to JV with you. And when we JV, this is the agreement that we have. Whereas if we now go and create the company, and you can do all that stuff once it starts getting bigger into the, if I'm doing a JV and it's going over $1 million, that's where we get company structures and all the other things in place, because now you need to have that legal protection.
Yeah. So in a way, it's kind of like the evolution. You have like marketing partnerships or referral partnerships. Sometimes they're ad hoc, they're a little bit loose. They're on, they're off again. Then you might have the reseller where it gets a little bit more formal. Then there's the JV, and your interpretation of it. It's a formal, more meaningful relationship where you're looking not just for a win-win, but probably for a win-win-win, where, what is it? 2 and 2 don't become 4, 2 and 2 become 16.
Yep.
Something like that when all the parties come together. Can I ask you, when it comes to this idea of pulling together JVs, finding other people, leveraging their audiences, empowering other people to leverage your networks, or I use the word audiences because that's the world that I often live in, but there can be other benefits and features that different organizations have. Can we talk about mistakes that somebody might make if they want to do more partnerships and JVs? What are some of the more common mistakes?
The most common mistake is expecting a partnership when you got a joint venture. It's, hey, I've been working so hard. I've been putting in 80% of the time, blah, 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 blah. We pulled in X number of dollars, therefore now I want to renegotiate, all that kind of stuff. Or, hey, the timelines don't match up. It's when people don't set the right expectations, the right timelines, and who's going to be doing what. So I'll give you an example. I did a JV with a guy, and to set up all the basic stuff that was happening there, it took about 6 months to get all the stuff happening. Then I made one key introduction, and that relationship brought in $4 million. Now, the person who did most of the setup for that 6 months went, hang on a second, I have done 90% of the work here. How come we are splitting the profits 50-50? Yeah, but I've just leveraged a 20-year relationship to make sure that this is going to happen, and this is the outcome. And so that's where sort of things can go pear-shaped. Great lesson to learn and good reminder. Therefore, timelines, expectations, go on.
I had a similar one, not quite the same, but expectations. I'm glad that you brought that up as the problem. I spent about 3 months doing some work with someone, and here's what I said. I said, you're going to pay me a base, and then I'm going to profit share on any extra additional revenue that you achieve over this amount of money. Now, this was a startup, and I really wouldn't normally get involved, but it was someone that I'd known for a long time. So I thought that I knew what I was doing, and I thought that everything would be okay. And there was no contracts. There was no real clear expectations. There was just me saying, sure, I'll help you, because this person was begging me for help. But what we'll do is I'm going to charge this amount, and then over this amount, I will get half. And for 3 months, the person that I was working with bitched and moaned because they were paying me this tiny little amount in my world, but it was a reasonably significant amount in their world, and they weren't getting the return. Then on the 4th month, just trying to think about the multiple, they probably times 8 their best monthly revenue. And of course, above a certain threshold, I got a huge chunk of that. So there was this moment of thrill. And then there was that exact moment that you're talking about. Why are you getting such a big amount of money? We spent all this time building this business, and you're not even an owner, and you're getting this enormous chunk of money. And the reality is the only reason why they got the chunk of money was because, as you know, it was a decade of experience that I knew what I needed to set up over 3 months to get them this result. And that 8-fold increase continued the next month, the next month, the next month. And then they severed commercial ties with me and said, we can't do this anymore. We don't need you anymore.
What?
Yeah. Part of me doesn't mind because I took home a decent chunk of change. But however, I went into it thinking, well, if I'm going to guide you and get you to this next level, I should be a beneficiary of that. But the expectations were a little bit different. And we spent all these years building this company. Why should you get such a huge chunk of change? And the reality is because you're now making 10 times more than what you were making. Yeah. No. Anywho, we've both been there, huh?
I think everybody has to go through it to understand why you need to do certain things. There's a couple of lessons which I don't think you can actually skip. You have to experience it. And only after you experience it, you go, I'm never letting that happen again.
Never letting that happen again. One thing that I would say is that Johann is talking, about pretty big deals. But I'm sure that in your early days of running businesses, the deals weren't big. They would be, They start small and you work within your own comfort zone for a while. You got to be pushing yourself. You can't think small, but yeah, you build up and you grow, and then that gives you the experience to know what you need to do to not get ripped off.
So back in 2008, when I started my digital agency, we were building websites. And it's the exact example I gave before. We were doing websites and people started coming up going, hey, there's this new thing called Facebook. Facebook came out in 2007, I think. We want to advertise on there. I'm like, yeah, we could do that, but we just want to focus on websites. But my friend down the road, he does Facebook ads. Hey, dude, can I send you clients that are pre-qualified who I know you're going to close? And can you give me 20% of their spend? Yeah, sure. Now, 20% of their spend over a year worked out to be something like $2,400, which is not a big deal. But in the first year, we got something like close to $200,000 from that deal because we were referring these guys really good qualified clients and they were closing them and the clients would maintain. So something that's as small as $2,400 over a year, right? $200 a month. It adds up.
Yeah. Even sometimes it can be something as simple as, so we talk about referrals. That's an example of referrals. It was a formal referral, and clearly there was a kickback. There's lots of referrals all the time that are not formalized, and when they're not formalized, they're not consistent. And if they're not consistent, don't bother. It's nice when people refer work your way. It means you're doing a good job, makes you feel good. But however, if there's no formal relationship, it's not consistent. You can't control it. You have like feast and famine times. But another version of that is that when I was running a smaller business, and we still run a variation of this to this day, we would find other people like what you're talking about. And then maybe like once a quarter, we'd like send out an email to say, hey, who needs this or who needs that? Now it's more sophisticated. It's like, hey, who wants this free report or who wants this free guide? And you find two businesses that are roughly around the same size or share the same values. Do that 4 times a year, and both of you can profit immensely. And in that instance, you don't even need to share cash if you don't want to. All you're really doing is sharing the love, and both of you having a full pipeline of clients because you're sharing the love.
So we used to do that. It's called a syndicate. So we get a syndicate of 6 companies who promote to everybody's database twice a year. So now you're getting exposure to 6 companies' databases, including yours, twice a year, recommending the other people. So each month it's, hey, do you need X? Yes, these are the experts. This is why. Here's a case study. This is what they can do. Click here. We highly recommend them. Click and go and talk to them and book in a call. Now, every month, of course, there's some other, there's other content in there, which has a lot of value, but once a month, it's a promotional of one of your syndicate members. Now, the amount of business that was just generated between those databases, those guys had so much and they all grew so quickly because of that.
And I can see as well, I end up on 3 of the 6 databases, which actually means that there's 3 businesses saying you should go work with this one company 3 times a year. And I'm like going, these guys are everywhere. They must be good. Because it becomes its own little echo chamber of emails, but that works really well. As well, all those 6 people are continuing to bring new people in, which then gets added to their own little cycle of messages. All right, let's talk about the big one.
Yep.
Which is the title of this particular recording: How to Set Up $1 Million Joint Ventures and Grow Your Company Exponentially. There was an example or a story, and I don't know what this is going to be, so I'm looking forward to it. What was the story, or what was the scenario that you wanted to share?
For sure. So the example of this is joint ventures where you don't have a product. You don't have to have a product to do a joint venture. All you are doing is you are the facilitator of this. The example here is the deal maker. I'm going to call her the deal maker. She's a marketer. She looks at the advertising of this gym and goes, wow, this gym is doing a really, really bad job of marketing. So she goes to a local printer and direct response, right? And so she designs out a beautiful ad, direct response. It's an A4 postcard, not A4, sorry, a DL postcard, and goes and says, hey, I want 10,000 of these printed. Can you give me a quote? And the printer goes, yeah, sure. Here you go. Here's the quote. And the quote was $10,000. Oh, yeah. She goes to the gym. She goes, look, I don't mean to be offensive. Your marketing kind of sucks. This is what I want to do. I want to go and get you people coming in to your gym I don't want you to pay me anything, but I do want you to pay the invoice for this material that I need in order to start up this interaction. Here's the invoice. It was 20,000 leaflets for $10,000. They were 50 cents a piece. So they pay $10,000 and she gets 20,000 of these leaflets. She then goes to all the clothing stores that sell fitness clothing. And she goes, hey, tell me about your business. How much does the average person spend in here? The managers are saying, oh, it's about $150. She goes, okay, cool. I have in my hands a $99 voucher for 6 months at this local gym. I will sell you these vouchers for $2 a piece, and you can give it to your clients when they spend $200 or more. And they go, well, okay, that sounds like a good deal. So then she starts selling these vouchers to all the gym clothes, right? Not to jeans, not to suit companies, but to sporting companies like that carry the clothes that people wear to the gym. So now people are coming in to buy new stuff. They see the thing, they go, hey, if you buy an extra thing, we're going to give you this membership to this new thing. Plus you get a free massage, you get this. Like there were some perks on there that you're like, whoa, that is worth way more than $100. And she goes, okay, cool. Now at the same time, she trains the people at the gym. When somebody brings in this voucher, I want you to treat them like VIPs. Yes, they're a free member for 6 months, but this is the experience they have to have. Do I have your agreement? Yes. And she outlines what they have to be trained with. So now from these 20,000 leaflets that are going out over the next 6 months, 4,000 people come in and they become members. By the way, the deal that she made with the gym was everybody who comes in, they're going to spend $200 for a year's membership. That's how much the gym membership was. And she makes 10% of the revenue ongoing for the next 5 years of each customer. That was the deal. We good with that?
Yep.
Awesome. So now comes in 20,000 leads, 20,000 leaflets. 4,000 of those have actually converted at $200, 20% closed, which led to $800,000 in revenue just for the gym. They've spent $10,000 just for the printing. They've got $800,000 in revenue annual. And then she got a deal where she gets paid $80,000 every year for the value of those clients. Did she stop there? No. Next month, they did a different promo. Next month, they did a different promo. So it's extremely simple when you think about it.
Is that real? I'll let you finish. Sorry.
No, that's a real example. The deal maker, gym, leaflets, 20,000 leaflets, clothing stores. By the way, she sold it to the clothing stores, right? She sold it for $2 a piece. $2 a piece. She made $40,000 in her pocket before there was any profit sharing. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's amazing.
And now the gym has 4,000 new customers who were treated like VIPs. And so guess on the back of that, they created a referral campaign. Hey, bring your buddy in. Hey, bring your wife in. Bring your partner in. Bring your kids in. And there was all this activity, all from this one little promotion.
Now, guys and gals, in the back of your brain, you're like going, that is cool. That's wild. That is the true essence of entrepreneurship, creating something from nothing. Entrepreneurs have to understand the power of leverage. They can make things happen by using leverage. And she used all sorts of different scenarios there. So guys and gals, this is just a little bit of a lesson because you might be going, okay, well, that was really cool. That's a great story, Johann. But how can I do that? Or how's that going to relate to me and my business? And I'm going to give everyone just a little bit of a framework here that they do that. The one thing that person's scenario had in common is that they had a singular avatar, which was a type of human being, which was the aspiring gym owner, the aspiring gym goer. And we knew what was going on in their world, right? We know that there was the gym clothes, there was the this, and there was the that. My little message, my little lesson is, and this is something we encourage our clients to do, and that is to mind map the complete journey of your customer or client before and after and while they need you. If you know before and after and while they need you, all the other products and services that they're using, you can create your own. I don't know what you'd call that, Johann. What would you call that? Your own
J. Abraham 101.
J. Abraham 101. Your own journey, client journey, where you leverage every single point in the relationship. Yeah, and it's a wild story.
So actually, most companies never do that. And even we teach that as one of the first things that you have to do, because when you know what they're doing before, what they're doing after, and what they're doing during, you're actually mind reading. And so when you're talking to them and going, let's bring this into practical tips. Hey, so and so, you know, I know you're 20 years old. You're probably thinking you're never going to break into the housing market. Did you know that there's different ways that you can do that, and you don't even have to use your parents' money? Because that's the conversation that these 20-year-olds are having nowadays, right? And they're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, cool. How do I do that? And then you take them through an investment journey and you go, okay, cool. In 3 years, if you keep going the way you're going, you will have that deposit. We'll show you the right properties, how to invest. By the time you're ready to put down the deposit, you know exactly how to invest. That's an example, yeah? Because we know what they're thinking. We know what the end product is. We want to sell them some property. But how are we going to get there? We're going to start the education process now. And in 3 years, they mature and they're going to be buying from us, because they ain't going to buy from no one else, because they know exactly we've taught them how to do that. This is an example.
Just before we hit record, Johann and I were actually having a conversation about my business. And I was talking about the typical journey if you're a solo or micro B2B business owner, like or a consultant or an agency. And we did that exact same thing. We actually mapped out the sequence of mental stages. So a stranger to our world is just obsessed with visibility and profile. No one knows who I am, and I need to raise my profile, and I can't get my foot in the door. So we created a product set to tackle that. Now, before we had that product set, we found other people that could tackle that. Then the next bit was, now I'm getting these leads. I can't get any meetings. So once again, we created a product for that particular piece. The next bit is, I've got the leads, I've got the meetings, I'm struggling to close, and then we've got that. Then the next is, okay, now I've got all these clients I'm closing, but there's got all this scope creep and I'm going insane because I can't manage all these different clients simultaneously. And we teach them strategies about scale. That there is a complete journey, the before, the middle, during, and the after. But initially it wasn't all us. It was just all it was the ecosystem that we could build around it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, sorry, you just got me excited. All right, we need to wind up. Final words of advice for anyone that's thinking and interested in JVs and other forms of more formal partnerships.
Final words would be, businesses run the world, right? We've got governments out there who are trying to manage it, and they're not doing a good job of it. So business owners, I believe, contribute so much to society. Once you're down that pathway, once you're thinking like a business owner would think, not a self-employed person, but a business owner who can see all you see all day, every day. There's opportunities everywhere. There's a book by Paul Zane Pilsner it's called Unlimited Wealth. Read that book and it shows you no matter where you go, there's opportunity everywhere. And opportunity comes from helping everybody. And so a lot of the joint ventures, every joint venture is, how can I help this person? How can I serve this person? Who can I connect this person to? If you think about yourself last, this is 100% the philosophy that has helped me build everything that I've built. Yourself last, the user, the end user first. So in the example that I gave, that person was not thinking about how much money they're going to make. They're thinking about, how is that person who's come to the gym, that mom who has not had time, she's finally going to get 6 months at the gym. She's going to be treated like a VIP. She's going to get all this other amazing stuff. Of course, she's going to stick with the gym forever. Then the gym, getting them all these clients, right? Oh my God, they never expected this amount of uptake. Why? She was thinking about them second. End user first, the JV partner second, and yourself third. When you do it in that order, magic happens, because people, it shows, it cares. People can feel it. They're like, wow, this person's gone, not only they're over delivering, they're gone over and above. And I would love to have this person as part of my world all the time. And I'll do any joint ventures with you. And that's how you do it.
That's beautiful. And it also brings us full circle, because when I began, I was talking about your three audiences and giving a damn about your customers, the people that might invest in you one day, and your partners, because whatever you do, if you want to be a success in business, it's not about you. It's about everybody else that you bring joy to. It's about the headaches, the obstacles, the aspirations and desires of all other people. Thank you so much, Johann. Thank you so much for your time.
A pleasure. Thank you for having me.
For those of you who are lucky enough to be watching this on YouTube, or if you're listening to the podcast and you want to see what we're about to see right now, hit the link that's somewhere around this video and head over to the YouTube channel, because Johann is about to share some slides with us. Break this down for us slide by slide, but really quickly, like in about 90 seconds. What's this say?
Dealmaker finds a joint venture with the gym, spends $10,000 in DL flyers, gets 20,000 DL flyers, does a deal for 10% of the revenue that she generates. She takes it, sells the vouchers for $2 a piece to the clothing stores, makes a profit of $30,000 straight up front. And then the clothing store is really happy because now every time they spend more than their clients spend more than $200, they give them this voucher, which is a free health voucher for $99 at the gym. All this word of mouth happens. Social media goes a bit crazy. People coming to get the extra, the membership. Happy Health Club because, hey, guess what? They got 20,000 new leads at $0 extra cost in advertising. 6 months later, the Health Club has closed 20% of those. So 4,000 people buying a $200 membership, annual membership, makes $800,000 in profit. And the deal maker gets $80,000 a year ongoing for the life of those clients. The art of the $1 million deal. Very simple.
Woohoo!